How it all began: one night in October in 1987, I went to bed at around 8 p.m. The wind was howling and the rain was coming down really hard that night. I was woken up by my monk friend who has been following me since I was born. This night was different. I felt his hands pull me out of bed. I woke up crying and screaming and was terrified at what just happened to me. My grandparents ran into me at this point as I was raised by them. I told them what just happened. They said I was probably sleepwalking, but I was not. Every night I would go bed and I would have to have my light on as I was afraid of the dark. I used to see him mostly out in the back garden and the front as he would patrol around the house at night. One night again he turned out my light and he said in this deep voice, "Don't be scared, my child. I'm here watching out for you. I was sent from another dimension," he said. "That night I pulled you out of bed. There was another thing that was there that night. He wanted my soul, as you are pure and a virgin, and they will keep coming. Until then they want your soul, but I'm here to protect you and keep you safe. I'm your guide who walks with you on your path in life and always be with you." That's when I knew I was different, as I was not like all the other kids in my school. I was going through an awakening. Thereafter he would patrol around the house at night again, keeping the things from the underworld out, known as demons. He said as you progress you will get stronger on your journey, helping others' souls in limbo.
Then in 1989 my grandparents got this old bathtub. Not sure where they got it from. Then one afternoon I was playing on my very first gaming system, Commodore 64. And I was sat there in my room and I started to hear this lady cry coming from the bathroom. I thought it was my grandma, so I went in to see. There was this young lady, very beautiful. And she was in the bath just sobbing. I asked, "How did you get in here?" As I got closer I saw there was blood in the bathtub. The water was red. I just ran out and ran downstairs, told my grandma and granddad there was a woman in there crying and full of blood. They went upstairs. There was no woman there. They were like, "Chris, what's wrong with you?" I said she was there. I saw her clear as day. I was 7-year-old at this point. I went back into my room. 1 hour later I heard it again. Crying, sobbing, so I went back into the bathroom. There was the lady in white. I said, "Why you crying?" She said, "I want my boyfriend." Kept saying my James, my prayer James, not my James. I said, "Where is he?" She said he was killed in the World War II. Was shot to his death. Then I said, "You poor thing, that's awful." She said, "I want him back." Then I saw her cut her wrist with a razor blade. Blood turned the water red, and that's when I knew she was a ghost. She had the longest blonde hair right down to her hips. She said, "Can you help me find him?" I said, "I can't, he be in heaven." That's when I realized she was attached to the bath, as that's where she killed herself. I used to see her every day. She became my friend. She would sit, talk to me, tell me how she was going to have a child with James, and she was holding on to that. When they came to her door, told her the news that her husband was killed in action, she just went to the bath and took her life. She knew she was dead, but she thought she would cross over, be with him, but she was trapped in limbo. Until this day she remains to the bath and her spirit is not at rest. Your wardrobe there. Then 1992, one stormy night. I was asleep and the monk returned. BK said, "You must hide in your wardrobe, they're coming." I was like, "Who coming?" He replied, said, "The demons from the underworld. They're looking for you." I replied, "Why they want me?" He said, "Because you were a dark magician in your past life, and they followed you." And I was like, "Seriously?" He said, "I have your back. But we didn't have much time. You must hide. They found you. They are coming for you. Don't be afraid. You must do as I say. I will protect you," he said. "I will knock on the door when it's safe to come out." So then I waited there in complete silence. Scared, I was frightened. Then I opened the wardrobe door just little bit, saw this huge light through the gap. I saw these horrible faces like gremlins, best way describe them, not big, around 3 feet tall. They were now in my room. My monk was fighting these things. The fight went on for around an hour. They were coming through the porthole 3 at a time. My monk was working to keep me safe. Was the scariest night of my life. I was dealing with this all on my own. No one would believe me, but I had my monk to keep me safe. That's all I needed was my Frederick. He was my guide. My only one who I could turn to for help. He saved me many times from evil and the dark forces that lurk in our world, waiting to come through gateways known as portholes. My monk guide was the one who stood by, and to this day he with me. I seen him lurking around protecting me, even been seen on my YouTube channel many.
Then in 1998 was my very first time using Ouija board. With this girl who I was in my last year of school. We both went into my bedroom. We both made this Ouija board out of cardboard. We called out to the spirit world, said if anyone is there please give us a sign. Then we called again, if there anyone there give us a sign. Then the next thing, the lights started to flicker. And the bedroom tiles in the ceiling started to lift up out the ceiling. We were scared and picked up the pieces and ran out the door and ran down the stairs. Out the house. We talked about what just happened, all the way to her mum's house that was 15-minute walk. We were so scared of what happened. We arranged to do it again in school library at lunchtime, but we tried it and nothing happened. Guess because there were more distraction from others in the room.
Week later, after we did the Ouija board, I woke up that night. I heard and saw these droids in my room doing and chanting words in some foreign language. I was so scared I hid under the covers. And this went on for ages. I remember seeing them on the walls, 6 black shadows performing some kind ritual. Then a year later was my 17th birthday. All my family made me best birthday ever. Then all of a sudden everyone just looked at me with their mouths open wide. I said, "What's wrong?" They said, "Look behind you on the wall. There was this big black shadow on wall with horns that looked like the devil." I just laughed as this was Frederick messing around. He sure spooked my family that they were gobsmacked what they saw. They just witnessed their first paranormal encounter.